This movie tells a story about Johnny, a vengeful spirit spurred on by a horrific 60-year-old crime. His body is resurrected after a hiker steals the sentimental talisman that's been keeping his spirit at rest. First of all, this movie has an intriguing premise. It's a slasher, but it's using the perspective of the killer, which is an interesting concept. It's a familiar story, but we follow his point of view for most of the runtime. Unfortunately, this concept is interesting in theory, but largely unsatisfying in execution. The third-person killer cam approach wears off rather sooner than later. A hefty portion of this movie is the camera following behind Johnny as he walks and walks and walks. He spends a lot of time just walking alone in the peaceful woods and experiencing unoriginal dialogue from afar. The movie also favors long-take static shots that show Johnny in his environment stalking his prey. The movie chooses to switch perspectives whenever exposition is needed. However, it's done too many times, so the movie loses its subversion of the slasher formula, and instead, the film begins to feel unfocused. The film's paint-by-numbers mythology by an expository monologue that kills the momentum and atmosphere that the movie is trying to build. The moments of prolonged dialogue endlessly drag on and contribute to the 94-minute film feeling much longer. The downtime between the kills often feels more like fumbling in the forest than quickly rampaging through the scenery. The slow pace really kills the ominous momentum of roller coaster reactions most slashers can produce. The film takes itself too seriously to sustain its tone, while sandwiching in a few scenes reflecting on collective trauma and survivors' guilt. Its rhythms seem off, the plot is full of cliché, and the dialogue feels tedious. It contains a lot of waiting with little payoff despite some decent kills. The movie's gimmick is also unfortunately something of a drawback. Positioning the film from Johnny's point of view without delving into his mindset also means there's little tension throughout. Nearly every step of the way, we know what he's going to do. This destroys any surprise or excitement out of the story. His teenage victims barely have names, let alone personalities. There's one kill that is the highlight of the film. However, nothing reaches the height of that kill, and the film rolls to a stop instead. In the third act, the movie breaks from its POV premise in a way that somewhat betrays its purpose, diluting its singular vision to capture something both conventional and confusing. Overall, it's not worth to watch this in theaters. Just wait on your streaming service.